Hey everybody, welcome back to Farmboy's Garage. Today we're working on this 1993 Chevy Silverado, and this is the first in a series of reading trouble codes on this truck. What I did, I bought this GM light duty truck fuel and emissions book. This is a service manual for it, and it pretty much covers trouble. So today we're going to start out with the DTC 14. This is code 14. This is on the engine coolant temperature sensor circuit, high temperature indicated. So the circuit description is the engine coolant temperature ECT sensor is a thermistor which controls the signal voltage to the VCM. The VCM applies a voltage on circuit 410 to the sensor. Circuit 410 is this yellow wire. It's got a 5-volt reference signal on it. So it's supplying 5 volts here. It pulls it down from ground, so it's going to pull this sensor wire down. So when the engine's cold, the sensor resistance is high, therefore the VCM will see a high signal voltage. As the engine warms, the signal sensor resistance becomes less and the voltage drops. At normal engine operating temperature, which is 85 to 95 degrees Celsius, or roughly 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, the voltage will measure about 1.5 to 2 volts, and that's measuring it with it plugged up, back probed. The sensor is right here by the thermostat. I've already unplugged it, so we can see a yellow wire here. That's circuit 410, and the black wire is ground. So if you had it plugged up and back probed at normal operating temperature, it should this yellow wire should read about 1.5 to 2 volts. Right. Now they got a whole list right here, and it starts out with having a Tech 1 scanner, which I don't have. So it would be nice to have a scanner for these old engines, but I don't have one. So what sets this code is if it's reading 130 degrees or 266 degrees or higher, it'll set this code 14. So if we get a code 14, then we should have a yes right here. And then we're going to disconnect the engine coolant temperature sensor, and the display should read less than minus 30 or minus 22. If it does read minus 30, then replace the engine coolant temperature sensor. If it don't read minus 30, then if it reads greater than minus 30, then either 410 is shorted to ground, or circuit 410 is shorted to sensor ground circuit, or a faulty vehicle control module or computer. And it gives you some diagnostic aids. If you want to read the sensor itself, the ohms across the terminals at different temperatures, and I'll kind of pan down through here so you can pause and write these down if you want to. Alright, so you can check that way. If you get the engine up to operating temperature, you check your ohms. It should be somewhere around 241 or 200 or less than that. Even you could say less than 300 ohms. Alright, and if it's cold like it is, this engine's fairly cold. It ain't run long today, but it's warm outside, so it's probably reading, somewhere. It's going to be reading somewhere in this area, in the 2,000 ohm range, and we can check that. I'll go get my ohm meter and we'll put it on there and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I've got my ohm meter set for 20,000 ohms. We should be in the 2,200 ohm range. The next one down is 2,000, so I'm going to set it up on 20,000. We'll see what it looks like. See if I can set y'all up where you can see. And we'll just go over here It's kind of got a wire harness kind of in the way here, so it's a little bit difficulty. So I'm showing about 1900 ohms. Let's go back to 2000. So I'm showing about 1940 ohms, which was putting me over here somewhere between 86 and 95, which is probably about right, because I did drive this truck to the barn earlier. So anyway, that's how you diagnose a DTC 14 code. And if you want to know how to get that code, okay, so if you want to, if you don't have a scan tool, get up on the dash and you'll see the plug. It looks like this, and what you want to do is you're going to ground out the A and B terminals. So the top right hand two terminals, I just use a paper clip to straighten out a paper clip, stick in there. You want to have the key off when you do this, and then you're going to turn the key on, and then the check engine light's going to flash, and it's going to flash 3 times a trouble code 12, and then whatever other codes you have. Now 12 is just a normal code, all right? So don't worry about if you get a 12. Nothing wrong with 12. It should flash 12, then it should flash the code 3 times, or whatever, however many codes you got. It's going to flash them 3 times, and then when it's run through all the codes, it's going to flash 12 again 3 times. So 12 is one long dash followed by 2 short dashes on the check engine light. So if you ain't ever seen that, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube how to do this. So I hope that helps, and if it does, please drop me a comment, thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned for more, because we're going to try to go through this book. I don't know how far we're going to get, but there will be more videos. Thanks for watching.